Sometimes the simplest creations bring the deepest calm. Imagine standing on your balcony or in a small garden corner, holding an empty bottle in your hands. What was once trash begins its transformation. With a clean cut down the middle, it opens like a cradle waiting to hold life. You paint the bottle, green for harmony, white for purity, or perhaps pastel shades for softness, and already it feels like something new. Next, you tie ropes through small holes at the sides, securing the bottle so it can hang freely. Soil trickles in, rich and dark, followed by tiny roots that will soon grow into leaves. Perhaps you plant basil, mint, or simple flowers, plants that ask little but give much. Hanging gently in the sunlight, the bottle planter sways like a cradle, carrying not only plants but also your hopes for growth. Children look at it with wonder, watching sprouts emerge day by day. Adults find peace in the sight of greenery, even in a small space. A row of bottles, each filled with different plants, turns a bare wall into a vertical garden, colorful and alive. The rhythm of watering them becomes meditation, a daily reminder that care brings beauty. This craft is more than recycling. It is a statement that life can bloom for what others throw away. Each bottle planter whispers a possibility, a renewal, of joy hidden in simplicity. And as you watch leaves unfurl beneath the sun, you realize this is not just a planter. It is proof that creativity and nature walk hand in hand, even in the humblest of spaces. There is a quiet magic in turning an ordinary bottle into a lantern. At first, it seems simple, just a container for yesterday's drink. But as your hands begin to paint and cut, it becomes something entirely new. Soft patterns are carved or painted across the plastic. Stars, flowers, or even swirls that mimic the night sky. The bottle is no longer waste. It has become a vessel for light. When you place fairy lights inside, the transformation is instant. A soft glow escapes through the patterns, scattering shadows across the walls. The bottle lantern feels alive, breathing warmth into the space. Children see it as a small piece of wonder, like holding the stars in their hands. Adults pause, watching the flickering glow, reminded of evenings spent under the open sky, where light and silence held equal power. Hang these lanterns on a balcony, a garden tree, or even inside a cozy room. Each one adds a layer of calm, a pocket of magic in the ordinary. A row of bottles glowing together creates not only decoration, but also atmosphere, a mood of peace, of joy, of gentle celebration. This DIY is more than recycling. It is storytelling with light. It teaches us that beauty shines brightest in the simplest forms. A clear bottle, a few strokes of paint, and a string of fairy lights are all it takes to turn darkness into warmth. Every flicker reminds us that creativity can brighten more than just a space. It can brighten hearts. And in the soft glow of a bottle lantern, you realize that wonder is not far away. It is in your hands, waiting to be made, waiting to shine. Sometimes, the best ideas are the simplest. A single bottle can be turned into a pot that waters itself, a small ecosystem that cares for your plants even when you are busy. It begins with a cut, dividing the bottle in half. The top is turned upside down, forming a funnel and placed into the lower half. A cotton wick or strip of fabric is threaded through the neck, connecting soil above with water below. As you fill the top with rich soil and gently place a seedling inside, something remarkable happens. The wick draws up just the right amount of moisture, keeping the plant nourished without drowning it. It is as though the plant has learned to drink on its own, quietly and steadily. For children, this is a wonder. They watch the roots reach down, visible through the clear plastic, learning how life connects above and below. For adults, it is a small act of peace. No longer must you worry about forgetting to water. The bottle pot takes care of it, day by day, drop by drop. Placed on a windowsill, the self-watering pot feels like a living reminder of balance. The green leaves stretch toward the light, while water shimmers quietly below. Make several with herbs like mint, basil, or parsley, and your kitchen becomes both a garden and a teacher of patience. This craft is more than practical. It is poetry in design. It turns waste into life, teaching us that sustainability can be elegant and effortless. In every drop of water drawn upward, in every leaf unfurling, the bottle whispers a lesson. With care, Even the smallest system can thrive. And in your hands, creativity becomes nourishment for both plants and soul. In the quiet of a garden, nothing feels more rewarding than watching birds gather where once there was only silence. A simple bottle, once discarded, becomes a source of life. With a few careful cuts, small holes are made along its sides. Wooden spoons or sticks are slid through, half inside for seed to rest upon, half outside to serve as perches, filled with grains or seeds. The bottle is hung by a rope from a branch or balcony rail. Soon, nature responds. Birds flutter in, cautious at first, then bold. A sparrow lands lightly, its head dipping toward the hole, pecking at the food within. Another follows, and the air is filled with movement and song. What was once waste now brings music to your space. Children watch with wide eyes, learning that kindness to nature is simple and joyful. Adults smile at the harmony, the reminder that even a small gesture can make the world gentler. The feeder sways slightly in the breeze, seeds spilling just enough to invite more visitors. Placed in a garden or near a window, the bottle feeder becomes more than decoration. It is a bridge between human hands and the wild, a gift to creatures that ask for little but give much in return. Craft several in different colors, and you create a lively corner where birds gather daily, a reminder that recycling is not just about reuse, it is about connection. In every flutter of wings, in every chirp echoing from the trees, the bottle whispers a truth. That generosity can be built from scraps, and beauty thrives when we share. And as the birds feed, your heart feels lighter, carried on the rhythm of wings. Organization does not always need to be expensive. Sometimes it comes from the simplest things. Imagine standing before a bare wall with a few empty bottles in your hands. You cut them cleanly, shaping them into half cylinders or small pockets. Each piece becomes a container, light yet strong, waiting to hold something useful. You paint them in colors that match your space. Soft pastels for calm, bold primaries for energy, or even clear with decorative tape for a modern touch. One by one, you mount them on a wooden board or directly onto the wall. Soon, the empty wall is alive with little pockets of purpose. Pens, brushes, scissors, and even small plants find a home inside. The bottles, once cluttered themselves, now fight against clutter, keeping your space neat and inspiring. Children see it as a playful rainbow of storage, while adults appreciate the elegance of order born from recycling. Placed above a desk, the organizer turns chaos into calm. Items that were once lost under papers now sit upright, ready to be used. Create rows for different needs, stationery, craft supplies, kitchen tools, and the wall becomes both functional and beautiful. This DIY is more than just storage. It is transformation. It shows that organization can be creative, sustainable, and personal. Each cut and color is a reflection of your style. Each mounted bottle, a reminder that waste can serve again. In the rhythm of making order from scraps, there is a deeper satisfaction. The joy of creating space not only on your wall, but in your mind. And every time you reach for a pen or brush, the bottles whisper their secret. That organization is art, and art can be made from anything. There is a quiet wonder in turning discarded bottles into a chandelier. At first, they seem ordinary, plain plastic without purpose. But as you cut the bottoms into petals, each piece begins to resemble a flower. Painted in soft whites, pastels, or even left transparent, they gather light in a way that feels magical. When assembled around a bulb, the transformation is complete. The plastic blooms into a dome or cascade, shimmering as light passes through. What was once waste now glows, spreading warmth across the room. Children stare in awe at the glowing petals, while adults pause, realizing how beauty can emerge from the simplest materials. Hung above a dining table or in a quiet corner, the chandelier becomes more than a lamp. It becomes a story of hands that care enough to cut in shape, of patience that turns scraps into elegance. Each bottle carries its past, yet together they shine with new meaning. This DIY is not only decoration, it is vision. It teaches that design can be sustainable without losing grace, that light does not only come from electricity, but also from creativity. The gentle glow softens the space, wrapping it in warmth, while the intricate patterns on the wall remind you of flowers opening at dawn. Make one in clear plastic for modern minimalism, Or paint each bottle a different color for a festival of light. Either way, it becomes a centerpiece, proof that eco-friendly can also be stunning. In every glow of the chandelier, there is a message. Beauty does not have to be bought, nor does it need to harm the earth. It can be made patiently, lovingly, from what others left behind, shining brighter because of its story. There is a special kind of joy in watching a child play with a toy they helped create. From a simple bottle, a car takes shape. The body is painted bright, red for energy, blue for calm, or green for freshness, while bottle caps become wheels, fixed with sticks or straws. In just a few steps, waste is reborn as play, laughter, and imagination. As the car rolls across the floor, children chase after it, their smiles wide and voices filled with excitement. It is not just a toy, it is their creation, born from their hands and guided by your care. Adults watching from nearby are reminded of their own childhoods, of afternoons spent racing simple toys down hallways or across dusty yards. The beauty of this DIY is in its freedom. Each car can be unique, striped like a race car, painted with flames for speed, or decorated with stickers for fun. The wheels, though simple, carry the spirit of motion, reminding us that creativity itself is always moving forward. Placed on a shelf, the bottle car is more than a keepsake. It is a story of resourcefulness, of finding joy in what others discard. Make more than one, and soon there's a fleet of tiny cars, ready to race, each with its own colors and character. This craft teaches children more than play. It shows them that imagination can build, that recycling is not only about saving waste, but also about creating happiness. In every spin of the wheels, the bottle car carries a message. That joy is handmade, and it rolls best when shared. There is something timeless about candlelight. Soft, flickering. It warms not just a room, but the heart. And when held within a craft you made yourself, its glow feels even more special. From a simple plastic bottle, a candle holder begins to take shape. With a clean cut and a little imagination, the bottle's base or middle is transformed into a cradle for light, painted in frosted whites for elegance, gold for celebration, or deep blues for calm nights. Cut small shapes into the plastic, stars, flowers, or hearts, and as the candle burns, patterns of light spill across the walls. Children watch in wonder the glowing shapes, while adults feel a quiet peace, as if the room itself is breathing slower. Place the candle holder on a dining table, and dinner becomes warmer. Set it near a window, and evening feels softer. Create several, each with its own design, and suddenly you have a collection of tiny lanterns, each telling its own story through the dance of light. This DIY is more than decoration. It is about atmosphere, about the ability to transform an ordinary moment into something memorable. It teaches patience in crafting and imagination in design, rewarding you with a glow that feels handmade in every sense. The candle's flame inside a bottle holder whispers a truth. Beauty is not about perfection, but about presence. In the soft flicker of recycled light, there's romance, calm, and meaning. And every time it glows, it reminds you that even the humblest of materials can carry warmth enough to light the world. Saving becomes an adventure when the bank is not just a box, but a creation of your own hands. With a simple bottle, a piggy bank is born. The body is painted pink, soft, and inviting, while bottle caps serve as legs, giving a sturdy stance. A slot cut neatly on the top becomes a gateway to dreams. Each coin that falls inside is a promise for tomorrow. The face is what gives it life. 2 ears cut from plastic or cardboard are glued carefully, and a nose painted round and sweet turns the bottle into a smiling pig. Add cartoon eyes or even stickers, and suddenly the piggy bank feels like a friend cheering for every coin saved. Children laugh as they drop in their first coins, listening to the clink echo inside. Adults smile too, for they remember the joy of saving in their own childhood, when small amounts grew into something meaningful. Placed on a desk or shelf, the piggy bank becomes more than a tool. It is both decoration and teacher. For children, it teaches patience, the idea that little by little grows into plenty. For adults, it serves as a reminder. Saving can be joyful when it feels personal. Craft more than one, in different colors and styles, and you create a family of piggy banks, each unique, each ready to guard treasures. Perhaps one for coins, another for notes, and a third for wishes written on paper. This DIY is not just about recycling. It is about teaching value through play, about creating habits wrapped in fun. In every painted smile and every clinking coin, the piggy bank whispers, joy comes not from what you keep, but from the hope you build. Gardening often needs clever solutions, and sometimes the answer lies in the simplest of things. An empty bottle once forgotten can become a tool of life, a sprinkler that refreshes your plants with every drop. With a few careful holes poked along its sides, the bottle transforms into a fountain, ready to scatter water across thirsty leaves. Attach it to a hose with tape or a simple connector, and the magic begins. Water bursts through the holes in arcs, falling like rain onto grass, flowers, or vegetables. Children laugh as they run through the spray, while adults find quiet joy in watching plants glisten under the gentle shower. It is not just watering. It is play, life, and care flowing together. Placed in a garden bed, the bottle sprinkler saves time, spreading water evenly across the soil. On a balcony, it turns watering into an easy rhythm, making sure every pot drinks its fill. The design may be simple, but its effect is profound, turning waste into a helper, a friend to both gardener and garden. This DIY is not about decoration, but about function. Yet in its streams of water, there is beauty. Droplets catch sunlight, creating tiny rainbows, while leaves stretch upward, refreshed and alive. It teaches that recycling is not only creative, it can also be practical, solving daily needs with resourceful thinking. Every spray from the bottle whispers a gentle truth. Care flows best when shared. From discarded plastic comes a tool that nurtures growth, reminding us that sustainability is not only about saving waste, it is about giving life. In the arcs of water, there is a story of renewal, simple yet powerful, made by your hands. A curtain does not always need fabric. Sometimes it can be built from the unexpected, from bottle bottoms that, when shaped and painted, turn into blossoms of light. With each careful cut, the smooth base of a bottle becomes a flower or a disc. Drill a small hole at the center, string them together, and slowly a chain begins to form. Piece by piece, the chains grow into a curtain, colorful and alive. Hung in a doorway, the curtain sways gently in the breeze, catching sunlight and scattering in playful patterns. Children walk through it with laughter, the plastic flowers brushing softly against their shoulders. Adults pause, admiring how something once discarded now separates spaces with beauty and creativity. Leave the pieces clear for a glass-like shimmer, or paint them boldly in rainbow tones for joy. Pastels bring calm, metallics add elegance, and a mix of all becomes a festival of color. Each variation turns a curtain into more than just a divider. It becomes art. Placed in a window, the curtain softens the light, filling the room with colors that shift as the sun moves. Used as a room divider, it adds privacy while keeping spaces open, playful, and bright. The sound of the pieces clinking lightly together carries a soothing rhythm, like gentle rain on a summer afternoon. This DIY is not just decoration. It teaches us to see beauty in repetition, in patience, in transformation. 100 small pieces become one graceful whole, reminding us that creativity is about connection. And in every sway of the bottle curtain, there is a message. Life is brighter when fragments come together, when waste becomes wonder, and when simple hands create something extraordinary. Jewelry tells stories, of moments remembered, of style expressed, of treasures kept close. And when displayed on a holder made from recycled bottles, those stories shine even brighter. With each bottle bottom cut neatly, shaped like a flower or a shallow dish, you begin to see trays forming. Stack them on a rod or screw, one atop another, and suddenly the simple plastic becomes an elegant tower. Paint them softly in pastels for a feminine touch, in gold for luxury, or leave them clear for a modern, glass-like effect. Each tier holds something different. Rings glimmering like tiny suns, bracelets resting in graceful circles, earrings perched lightly on the edge. The bottles, once empty and forgotten, now cradle beauty with dignity. Placed on a vanity or desk, the jewelry holder does more than organize. It brings calm to clutter, transforming scattered treasures into a display of order and elegance. Children watch curiously as trinkets sparkle in their new home, while adults smile at the cleverness of design. Sustainability and style woven into one. The rhythm of using it each day becomes part of your routine. You slip off a ring at night, lay it gently on the tray, and in the morning, it waits for you, safe, visible, cherished. Each glance at the holder is a reminder that beauty can come from care, from patience, from hands willing to create. This DIY is not just about recycling. It is about giving value. It teaches that elegance does not require expense, only imagination. In the layered bloom of bottle trays, there is a lesson. Even what was cast aside can rise again, graceful and proud, carrying not only jewelry, but also the sparkle of creativity itself. Aquariums are windows into another world, a quiet underwater landscape where life moves slowly, gracefully, and with a little imagination, bottles once discarded can become part of that world. By cutting the plastic into flowing shapes, you create sea plants that sway gently in the current. Painted in greens and blues, they blend naturally with the water, offering both beauty and shelter for the fish. For those who dream bigger, bottles can be crafted into miniature castles, caves, or coral reefs. Painted in bright orange, pink, or yellow, the pieces bring color and life, turning the aquarium into a tiny ocean garden. Fish dart in and out of the structures, finding places to hide, play, and rest. Children press their faces to glass, enchanted by the sight, while adults watch quietly, soothed by the rhythm of the water. Placed among pebbles and sand, these bottle creations look at home, almost as though they had always belonged to the sea. With aquarium light shining through, the plastic glows gently, adding another layer of magic. And all of it was made by your hands, from something others thought was waste. This DIY is more than decoration. It is about care. It teaches us to respect both creativity and nature, to design in ways that delight without harm. By reusing bottles, you keep plastic out of landfills and give a second life, one that supports the serenity of an underwater world. In every bubble rising, in every flick of a fish's tail, the bottle decor whispers its truth. Beauty does not always come from the store. Sometimes, it is shaped from scraps, carried by water, and brought to life in the quiet magic of an aquarium. Growth often begins in quiet places, and with a simple bottle, you can create a world where plants thrive. By cutting a bottle in half and placing the top like a dome over tender seedlings, you form a miniature greenhouse. Inside, warmth gathers, moisture circles, and life begins to unfold. Tiny leaves stretch upward, safe beneath their clear shelter, while droplets of condensation sparkle like morning dew. This small craft is a gift to both children and adults. Children watch in wonder as seeds sprout faster, learning how protection helps life grow. Adults see the elegance of design, simple, sustainable, and effective. With nothing more than a bottle, you create an environment where nature feels at home. Placed on a windowsill, the mini greenhouse captures sunlight and turns it into energy. It keeps soil moist without constant watering, making gardening easier even for those with little time. Herbs like basil, mint, or parsley flourish inside, offering freshness for the kitchen and peace for the soul. Make several, lining them up in rows, and your home becomes a garden laboratory. Each bottle a tiny world, each plant a quiet success story. Over time, the greenhouses remind you of patience, of how growth is not rushed but nurtured, protected, and allowed to bloom. This DIY is more than recycling. It is a celebration of beginnings. It shows that sustainability is not only about reusing materials, but also about giving life. In the tender green leaves beneath a clear plastic dome, there's a gentle truth. Care creates growth, and even the smallest greenhouse can hold the promise of a forest. Walls are like canvases, silent, waiting for stories. With bottles that would otherwise be discarded, you can turn emptiness into art. Each bottom cut into a circle becomes a flower. Each cap, painted in bright tones, becomes a dot in a mosaic. Piece by piece, the wall transforms, carrying the rhythm of color and creativity. The process feels meditative. You gather bottle parts, paint them in reds, blues, yellows, and greens, then arrange them across the wall in patterns. Flowers blooming, trees rising, or even abstract shapes dancing with light. Children help by choosing colors, laughing as their small hands create petals. Adults see the bigger picture. A wall that once stood plain now bursts with character. every piece a reminder of resourcefulness. Placed in a living room, the mural becomes a centerpiece, drawing eyes and sparking conversation. In a classroom, it becomes both decoration and lesson, teaching students that waste can be reborn as wonder. Outdoors on a garden wall, it blends with nature, reflecting the same play of colors found in flowers and leaves. This DIY is more than decoration. It is transformation. It teaches that beauty does not come only from new things, but from reimagined ones. Every painted circle carries its history. Every glued piece contributes to a whole greater than itself. When the sunlight falls across the mural, colors glow, shifting with the hour. And in that glow, there is a truth. That creativity is not just personal. It is communal, built from fragments, bound together by vision. The wall art whispers softly. Life becomes beautiful when we choose to see potential, not waste, and when we allow imagination to paint the spaces around us. Wind chimes carry music made not by hands, but by nature. With each breeze, they whisper a song, and when crafted from bottles, that music gains another layer, a story of transformation. The process begins with cutting. Plastic is shaped into leaves, feathers, or strips, each smooth and painted in colors that glow when sunlight passes through. Strung together on thread and tied to a wooden stick, they wait patiently for the wind. When the breeze comes, the pieces dance. They clink lightly, a rhythm soft enough to calm the heart. Children listen with curiosity, hearing music where before there was silence. Adults smile at the sound, reminded of afternoons spent resting while the wind carried secrets through the trees. Hanging from a balcony, a porch, or even a garden tree, the bottle wind chime does more than decorate. It becomes part of the air, moving with it, speaking in notes that change with each gust. Painted in bright rainbow colors, it becomes playful. Left clear, it becomes elegant and serene. This DIY is about harmony between human hands and natural forces. It teaches patience in crafting, but also trust. Once complete, the chime song is not yours to control, but the wind's to compose. Every sound is unique, unrepeatable, carried into the moment and gone, yet remembered in feeling. Placed in your space, the wind chime becomes a reminder of stillness and motion, of recycling and renewal. It shows that even waste can sing, that beauty can be found in both silence and sound. And in its gentle music, you hear the truth. Creativity does not only change objects, it changes the air around us, turning the ordinary into melody. There is something deeply rewarding about giving shelter, even to the smallest of creatures. With just a bottle and a little care, you can create a safe home for birds that visit your garden. The process begins with a simple cut, an entrance hole wide enough for a sparrow or finch to slip through. Painted in soft colors or left natural, the bottle transforms from waste into a haven. Add a small perch below the entrance, perhaps from a stick or dowel, and the design becomes complete. Inside, a little straw or dry grass can be placed, offering comfort to those who decide to make it their home. Hung from a tree branch, the birdhouse sways gently in the breeze, waiting for its first guest. Children watch eagerly, hoping to see a bird peek through the opening. Adults find quiet joy in the sight, knowing their hands provided shelter where there was none. Soon, the bottle is no longer just plastic. It is a space of life, filled with chirps, wings, and the soft rustle of nesting. Placed in a garden, on a balcony, or even near a window, the bottle birdhouse invites nature closer. It turns an ordinary day into a shared moment with the wild, reminding us of the connection between creativity and care. This DIY is more than recycling. It is kindness. It teaches us that even the smallest acts matter, that even scraps can hold meaning when shaped with intention. And in every flutter of wings at its entrance, the bottle whispers a truth. The home, no matter how humble, is a gift of love. Desks often gather clutter. Pens scattered, scissors misplaced, markers rolling away. Yet with a simple bottle, order can be made. Cut neatly, painted brightly, the bottle transforms into a pencil holder, standing tall and ready to bring calm to chaos. Blue, red, yellow, or pastel, the choice of color turns a craft into both function and decoration. For children, the pencil holder becomes playful, especially when painted with cartoon eyes or animal faces. Dropping pencils inside feels like feeding a little friend. For adults, it becomes practical and stylish, reminding them that organization does not need to be expensive, just creative. Placed on a desk, the holder gathers tools in one place, making work smoother and the space more inviting. Several bottle bases can be combined to create compartments. One for pens, another for markers, another for scissors. Suddenly, the desk is not just tidy but inspiring, each color reflecting energy and creativity. The beauty of this DIY is in its versatility. Wrap the bottle in fabric for elegance, paint it in metallic tones for sophistication, or leave it clear for a minimalist look. Whatever style you choose, the result is the same, a desk transformed by the touch of your hands. This craft is more than recycling. It is about creating balance in daily life. It teaches that small changes can have big impacts, that order brings peace, and that beauty can emerge from what was once overlooked. In every pencil placed neatly, in every moment saved by finding tools easily, the bottle whispers. Creativity is not only for art, it is for living. And in this pencil holder, you hold more than pens. You hold proof that imagination can shape even the smallest details of your world. Storage often feels like a challenge, yet sometimes the solution is found in the simplest forms. A group of bottles, once scattered and forgotten, can be shaped into a vertical shelf. Functional, stylish, and eco-friendly. Each bottle is cut into compartments, open at the front, ready to hold what you need. Painted in soft pastels, bold primaries, or even left clear, they carry both strength and charm. Stacked together or mounted on a frame, the bottles create levels one above another. Small plants sit in the lower compartments, books rest higher up, and accessories find their place in between. Children see it as playful, bright cubbies to hide their toys, while adults admire its practicality and the elegance of sustainable design. Placed in a living room, the vertical shelf becomes more than storage. It becomes a feature, sparking conversations about creativity and care for the earth. In a workspace, it brings calm to clutter, keeping tools and supplies close at hand. Even in small homes, it maximizes space. Proof that recycling is not only about saving waste, but also about solving problems. This DIY is a reminder that organization and creativity can walk hand in hand. Each bottle adds strength to the whole, each cut and color shaping not only utility, but also style. It teaches us that design is not limited to what is bought. It can be built personal and full of meaning, and in the rhythm of daily life, as you place items neatly into each compartment. The shelf whispers, order can be beautiful, sustainability can be modern, and every hand that chooses to create writes a new story of possibility. Gardens thrive not on grand gestures, but on steady care. A simple bottle can become a quiet helper, feeding plants drop by drop, day after day. By filling it with water and making tiny holes in the cap or sides, you create a drip irrigation system, simple, effective, and life-giving. Place the bottle upside down near the roots, or bury it halfway beside your plants. Slowly, the water seeps into the soil, keeping it moist without flooding. Tomatoes, herbs, or flowers drink steadily, growing strong even when you cannot water them every day. Children watch with fascination as drops fall like tiny jewels, learning how patience nourishes life. Adults appreciate the ease, knowing their garden will be cared for even on busy days. In a vegetable patch, several bottles lined up become a rhythm of care, each one silently feeding green leaves. On a balcony, they keep potted plants healthy under the hot sun, saving both time and water. The bottles once waste are reborn as guardians of growth, proving that sustainability is not only kind to the earth, but also practical for daily living. This DIY is more than an invention. It is a lesson. It shows that solutions do not need to be complex, only thoughtful. That even in the smallest drops, there is power to sustain life. It is recycling with purpose, design with heart. As the soil darkens with moisture and leaves brighten with health, the bottle whispers a truth. Care flows quietly, not in bursts but in consistency. And in every drop that falls, you are reminded that creativity is not only about beauty. It is about nurturing, about giving back to the world that gives so much.